Hey everyone, you're watching Kickback and Chat with Amber Pickens. Today I get to chat with an extraordinary artist. She's a dancer, director, actress, producer, choreographer. She does it all. And she's also starring in BET's American Soul as the legendary Flo Davis. Please welcome India McGee.
Hey,
So how have you been doing? I'm so happy to see you virtually.
cool. I've been cool. I've been watching you. I've watched like all your videos and I'm just like, wow, this is really dope. Like she had this
Thank
dope
you.
idea. What was that, 2 years ago?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you're
Oh my
making it come to
gosh. I just
pass.
remember sharing it with you. This is
Yeah.
so incredible. Just got done. I was saying, like, I want to interview more Black women, especially during these times,
Uh-huh.
get our perspective on everything that's going on. But I completely forgot that I shared this with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that just made me even more happy. And I've been watching you. I'm so excited for everything you're doing on BET's American Soul. You are representing
Oh,
Flo Davis like no other. I mean, I'm so excited to see you every week. Congratulations on that. And season two.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And the last episode really resonated with me because it's not often that we see a Black woman, especially a dancer, speaking up for themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
can you explain to me, how was it getting prepared for this role?
I mean, I kind of feel like I was built for this role,
I,
especially with that last episode. I've been really active on the underbelly of just educating dancers on what their rights are, what they can ask for, what they can demand, um, and even just how they should be treated by their agencies. I've had negative experiences with agents and not knowing what I should and shouldn't allow. And so just taking those experiences and then translating it into my art as well as into my activism was just like perfect.
Yeah, and I definitely think that is being communicated with us as the audience. So I commend you for that, because that definitely, as soon as I saw that scene where you got up and left the table and you're like, I have a better option, I was like, yes, we need that,
Mm-hmm.
especially these times, everybody is finally just speaking up and responding to what's been going on for so long, and things that so many of us have been talking about, because you and I had these conversations. But
Right.
I'm happy that more people are joining in and finally speaking up. And I was,
Mm-hmm.
because that was going to be my next question, that your background is predominantly dance. So how does it feel making this transition into acting? But you just answered it, because it's like you were built for this role.
I mean, I studied acting. My undergraduate program was theater arts and dance. I just had an emphasis in dance, but they made us do everything. We had to take classes in lighting design and costume construction, and we had to stage manage at least 2 shows before we could graduate. Our program director really, really wanted us to understand, even if we wanted to pursue a career in dance, you need to know what everyone does so that you can, one, truly appreciate your team. You never take anyone for granted. She did not want to make any divas coming out of her program. But also so that you're a better storyteller. When you know how that light is, like how that story was told from the lighting designer's perspective, how it accentuates you as the artist, like there was nothing that she didn't want us to touch. So acting was also a part of my program. So just building myself as a storyteller, um, I, I'm ready for whatever.
Yeah, and it, like I said, like we definitely see it. And I think it's also important, because so many people have that idea of dancers that all we do is dance. And
Mm-hmm.
they try to demean us in many ways, even within our own community. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
dancing, we make it look easy, but it's all these different steps. And yet, just like you said, we have to know what's going on stage and also behind the scenes. And that's why I think this show is very, very important. So it shows like both sides, us being on set and being a part of the production. So also I want to talk about, okay, during this we're already dealing with quarantine, but there is this huge global cry for help. How has that impacted you?
Um, honestly,
Global cry for change, not help, but change.
um, it's super refreshing. I can remember I started in college. I started this petition to boycott some of the chocolate companies that we hold dear here in America after finding out that they use child labor and slave labor. And it
Wow.
was just really, really difficult to even get Black people on board. They're like, well, I can't do anything about that. Like, I'm going to enjoy my chocolate.
Yeah.
And so here I am, like trying to find this, like doing all my research on companies before I consume this thing that I love so much. I love chocolate.
Me too.
So even like when going to a restaurant, being that annoying person that's like, so where do you guys source your chocolate from before I get this souffle? And it always felt really, really lonely and like maybe I am doing too much. And just to see this great awakening that's happening and seeing more people that are speaking out, that are popping up, and that are becoming leaders in this movement and this uprising is so, so very refreshing. I am so happy to see everybody celebrating Juneteenth.
Oh
I'm
my
happy
God.
to see everybody educating themselves and spreading that education around. I'm excited. Like, come on, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. And specifically for Hollywood, what are some things that you really want to see change when we come out of this quarantine, when everything's up and running again?
I hope to see even marginalized people recognize their privileges. I
Mm,
remember my first day on set for American Soul. One of the guys, it was the second episode that I was the on in the first season, and one of the grips came over to me and he was like, "How beautiful is this? Look at all these Black people like behind the camera, in front of the camera." And I was like, "It is, but it's still a lot of dudes in here." And he
mm,
was like, "What?" I was like, "All of the crew is male. They're
wow.
Black, but they're all men." And he was like, but we Black. And I was just like, but
That's not enough.
this too, like there are there are female grips as well. There are non-binary grips as well. Um, and it was very jarring for him. And I wasn't trying to be, divisive. I wasn't trying to be the contrarian, but
It's just
it was something
true.
that he hadn't recognized. And even in speaking, like just talking to writers and stuff, like everybody is able-bodied. All of the characters are able-bodied. I haven't seen anybody with a different level of ability or a limited ability that's a character on the show. And it's like, oh, it's not something we thought about. Like it's a thing. We exist intersectionally.
Yeah.
And so just hoping that even within the Black community, like specifically, that we start to recognize, the levels to this, that it's
For
not.
sure. Not, it's all Black Lives Matter. I've been hearing that a lot. I'm
Exactly.
like, I've gotten to, my mom has been holding me accountable for that a lot. She's like, we have to, everybody has been so quick to just, talk about white people and the white fragility, which is
Mm-hmm.
important and like educating them, but also we have to educate ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
because this stuff has been around for over 400 years, and so it's impacted our community in so many different ways. So
Right.
how do we share knowledge within our community? I was like, yeah, that's so right. That's so
Yeah.
right.
We got to clean our own house first.
We definitely do.
And we have more. There's more pull in here. We're gonna talk to each other here. Like in this community, we have access to each other in ways that, and we don't have to front with each other. We don't have to code switch with each other. So
Exactly.
to have those conversations, I was even having a conversation with a couple of like Broadway actresses, and we were talking about how casting is still very white, even on Black projects. So, we're going in for an all Black production but the casting director is still this white woman
Still white that has no idea
giving me,
what.
right, giving me a line read and telling me how I should approach this woman from 1940s in Chicago. And I'm like, actually, my aunties and them are from Chicago and they were young in the 40s.
Exactly.
I'm doing them. Your line read isn't correct. Um,
Hmm.
the gatekeepers still choosing to go outside of the community to cast people within the community. So I
Yeah.
think that's an issue that also needs to be addressed. And I would love to see it change. I would love to see more Black casting directors that are outside of film and television. I would love to see more Black casting on Broadway, off Broadway, for musical theater. I want to see us thrive everywhere.
Yeah. Yes, I hear you completely. Somebody posted that it's not just important to have a seat at the table, but it's even more important that power is being shared. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
see who wants to be an ally and who wants to see true change is when you are able to share your power. When you are able to look in the mirror and say, I have no business casting this show, or I have no business directing this show. So
Right.
I'm going to give this responsibility to somebody else that actually deserves it. And I
Yeah.
think that's something I definitely, not I think, I know that's something I definitely look forward to.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it. I saw Matthew Cherry tweeted the other day about how cool it would be for them to do like a reboot or a sequel to a League of Their Own, and then widening the perspective to a Black audience, because Black female baseball players existed in the 40s as well. They weren't shown in that movie. And so people were like, "Oh, you should make it. You should make it." And he was like, "I would be willing to produce, but I think that a Black female director should helm this. A Black female writer should helm this." And it's like, yeah, you have privilege, you have some power. Use that to elevate somebody else. Use that to uplift another artist. You don't always have to do everything just because you have the power to do so. So.
Definitely. I think that is like such great words of wisdom. What has been
Mm-hmm.
keeping you motivated and encouraged during all of this? And even before this quarantine happened, because the quarantine is something new, but this specific, this global cry for change has been
Mm-hmm.
around for centuries. So what keeps you grounded throughout all of this?
Um, Honestly, this has been difficult for me. In this stillness, there's a lot that can come up. The things that you can suppress because you have something to do, you have something to study, you have somewhere to be. It's easy to put some things in the back of your mind, but since we don't have anything to study, we won't have nowhere to be. Those things can come up. So for me, what's been keeping me motivated is really focusing on healing. There's some traumas that have not been dealt with, and it's like, okay, well, I have nothing but space and opportunity, so I'm going to every day consciously do something to take a step in the direction of healing.
Same here.
um and so that's what, like, looking forward to being a better person just as a whole, having my spirit be better, my soul be better by the not by the end of this, but just with in a concentrated form. We have so much time to just sit and work on it. So that's what's been keeping me motivated as of late.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. Even in the virtual acting, I was sharing that with my acting teacher, like virtually, and I
Mm-hmm.
was sharing that I feel like my imagination has been blocked, and I'm trying to do certain things because there's just certain things going on that I haven't been able to face, or
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to face, but like you were saying, we're so busy running around to auditions, working, this, that, and we suppress. But now we have
Mm-hmm.
more than enough time to address everything
Mm-hmm.
and break every chain, because I truly believe the only way to get to like our the best freedom and just the best way of change. I don't even know the what word I really want to put it on, but I guess freedom is the best word for it. The only way
Yeah.
we can all get to freedom is that, yeah, we go within.
Right.
We start going within.
You have to. I mean, all liberation from, any people that have been oppressed around the world, like, it always started with someone having a feeling like
Mm,
this isn't right. And so I'm going to move on this feeling that I have, and then I'm going to create change based off of what's going on inside me. And if what's going on inside us right now is not a motivation to change, if what's going on inside is stagnant or feeling bogged down on the inside, then there's work that needs to be done so that we can get to liberation.
yeah. Wow. Thank you
I
so much.
really,
Dee. I
I
love
really like
talking
your
to you. Oh my
earrings.
gosh, I
I've
miss
been
you.
like looking
Thank
at them.
you.
Those are so cute.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, oh, is that Nefertiti? Hold away.
I've been studying about her too. I've been trying to study about all these different queens and warriors
Mm-hmm.
and just learning from our different ancestors. So that definitely has been helping me too. Like, because all this has been done before. Like I keep saying, this is stuff that's been happening for centuries. So I'll just pick up any book I get my hands on and just like soak up all that knowledge. So even learning about Nefertiti, I'm like, she was handling stuff back in the day.
What are you reading right now? I'm
I'm
trying to
reading
find new books.
MLK. My friend Titus just recommended it. Where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that, I mean, as soon as you open it up, he's addressing MLK addresses things that we're talking about right now. Where
Mm-hmm.
when people are talking about holding people like white people accountable in the being allies, like what is true allyship, and he addresses it like like right when you
Mm-hmm.
open up the first chapter, and even in the
Right.
introduction, like one was from his wife, and one was from another activist. Like they're talking about stuff that is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so beautiful. I also read Mark Morial's The Gumbo Coalition. That's just
Ooh.
it's so great because he was the youngest mayor of New Orleans, and he's the president of the National Urban League. And I've been wanting to just I've always called myself a leader, but this
Mm-hmm.
time I'm like I said, I continue to hold myself accountable to reading his book and reading what does it mean, like what is just some of his advice on what it means to be a leader was really great, and just a different experience. Him going to court with the KKKs to abolish, gun rights and all that stuff. I'm like, this is really important. We have to continue going to, yes, our ancestors, our elders, and also each other to continue to share the knowledge. So, but where do we go from here has been really great. And it was another one somebody just recommended because I read Nefertiti.
Mm-hmm.
Nefertiti book my aunt gave me. What else is around here?
I'm writing these down. That's why I'm looking
March.
down.
Let me grab this March book too. Yeah, because I've been trying to March book where I'm gonna move my light. March. It's really it's nice because it's a comic, but it's still about John Lewis, which we all love, and I know he has a new documentary coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But March was really great as well. My auntie sent this to me, and just like
Oh,
learning more about those
nice.
people that have been fighting for justice and freedom forever. Just trying to learn from them, just taking it in day by day, and
Mm-hmm.
how do I build myself up? Because
Yeah.
yeah, we have to hold ourselves accountable, like holding each other accountable, but for sure holding ourselves accountable more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. So, yeah. What have you been reading? You said you're trying to find a new one, but what else?
Yeah, because I started diving back into like fiction because I was just like, I wanna escape. So I started reread. I read a whole bunch of books that I had read before, like a long time ago, and having a new perspective on them. So right now I'm deep in Sula by Toni
I
Morrison.
was just. Why did I feel you were about to say you were reading more than?
I was just like, I need to go back. I love, how I love period pieces. I want to go back in time.
Yeah.
And I want it to be Black, and I want it to be femme focused.
Yeah.
I read *Sapiens*, which is not fiction, but it really broadened my understanding of humanity as a whole.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like somebody recommended me reading *Sapiens*.
I mean, if you like history and anthropology and sociology, *Sapiens*.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
Let me see what
I
else.
need
What
to
else?
reread *Paradise* by Toni Morrison. I physically felt my brain shifting when I was reading that book.
Uh
Her writing is like no
huh.
other.
Right, and it sometimes I look back and I'm like, how was she here that long ago?
Exactly. Like how? How is it even
We've been told that this type of person did not exist. This type of consciousness did not exist until 1990. Like, how was she doing this
a
way
single
before that?
mother? Like how it's like how did you working at a publishing company? I'm like, how did you have the time
Right.
to just dedicate yourself to all this truth? This somebody said her writing's like the emancipation from the English language. I
Yes.
think that's perfect. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Because it's
Yes.
like this woman was such a gem. She still is a gem. She still lives with us, within all of us. But for sure, I need to go back and go back to Paradise for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What have you been binging on anything?
Um, I've been really looking into like Black indie films.
Okay.
Just because, like, especially from like before it was easy and accessible. So yesterday I just watched Brother to Brother with Anthony Mackie.
Oh, brother to brother. I haven't seen
It
that.
was it was made in like '98, I want to say. It's on the Urban Movie Channel, but you can get
Oh,
it through
okay,
Amazon if you
okay.
have a membership. Um, and I mean, what else? I mean, I watched Mrs. America because I loved Janixa Bravo, and she directed a couple episodes, and they were like amazing. Um, Let me see, what else have I been watching? Oh my gosh, have you started watching I May Destroy You?
No,
Olivia Poe?
that one, Michaela.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to watch that. There's a poster for it outside that I keep passing. Keep saying I'm gonna watch it, and I keep forgetting. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
It's like there are so many more stories about the feminine experience that don't have anything to do with getting married. That
Mm,
don't have anything to do with finding a husband or a
that's
mate in
great.
general. And it's just like, we live full complex lives. Why do we only see this very narrow, like, why are all of our narratives in relation to men and
Yes.
who we are in relation to men? And the way she explores her particular story is like, it's amazing. I wish it wasn't weekly. I wish I could just sit and watch the whole 10 episodes,
That
but I'm hooked.
sounds really powerful. I definitely have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having a lot of conversations about that lately as well. Like where it always seems like the ultimate goal is to get married, and even before marriage, it's like just being a strong, independent woman is still. I mean, we see these images more now, but it's still so new to the world. The world is still
Mm-hmm.
getting used to women speaking up for ourselves and saying what we like and what we don't like, and that still is a problem for many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see how we relate to ourselves,
Mhm.
not just who we can be used by, and not necessarily in a negative way, but like, it's always about like, a struggle for us to make life easier for someone else,
Mm,
whether it's our kids, our spouses, and we got to fight for it. I want to see a woman fighting for herself.
yeah, me too. I definitely
So
like that.
yeah.
Come on, India. Oh, I told you. As as soon as we met, I said, this is meant to be. I need to talk to India. I'm gonna make sure this happens. We need to do a part two.
I'm down. I'm
Definitely do a
available.
part two. This is great. Just a little check-in, but we'll definitely be able to check in the future for sure.
Okay, cool.
Are there any just like last words of wisdom that you want to share with the world?
Words of wisdom. I mean, they're not mine,
That's fine.
but
Uh,
but be gentle with yourself
Hmm.
in everything. I think because we live in a capitalist society, everything is always go, 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 produce, 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 win, win, win. And, if we're not producing, if we're not winning, if we're not out, if we're not doing something, it can be easy for us to like beat ourselves up, like, I am not enough. And know that you are enough, and be kind and gentle with yourself as if you are cradling a newborn every time you talk to yourself, speak to yourself, um, like like you are speaking into a being who is deserving of love.
Yes. That's to make me break down.
Go ahead, girl, let's break.
Hear that?
I ain't cried in a minute. Let's do it.
I had my picture the other day when I was in Dallas. I was dancing in my backyard for one of my
Hmm.
projects, and I had a complete breakthrough. And I want to
Was
say
that the one with the
breakthrough,
truck?
but not say breakdown, but breakthrough.
Hmm.
What did you say?
I said, was that the one with the truck? We had the dress on, and there's like the
Yeah,
truck.
yes. We after that, because we were just at first we were just playing around. 'Cause whenever I go home, just have like some dope friends. I'm like, I need some inspiration. I need to feel uplifted because it's been so much madness in New York with the fireworks. I was like going crazy.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so we were shooting. That was great. That was beautiful. I love Corey. He's such a great photographer. I was like, okay, let's do the film for my friend Mike. And he was like, okay, the song is 10 minutes long. And I was like, okay,
Okay.
so let's just go for it. This 10-minute solo. Here we go. I just want to like dance. He was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do one take, go. And at the end of that, both of us just like stood there in silence, and I was just bawling like I needed this moment. Like at first I kept saying, oh, my friend Mike, why do you have to pick this 10-minute song? But little did I know, like that's exactly what I needed at that moment. I needed to just break free, like let
Hmm.
like give like be grateful for where I'm at, give God the praise, but also just let out a lot of the pain, a lot of the trauma,
Hmm.
and that I've been holding in probably for years.
Right.
This stuff is like I keep saying, it's been happening, but we're just always going, going, going. So this is the
Hmm.
first time for so many of us where we could just sit in it, and like you said, just really be gentle with ourselves, like
Hmm.
acknowledge like where are you at, like when you look in the mirror, just be like, where are you at today?
Right.
So where are you honestly at? Like how do you feel? You don't This is a moment where you don't have to put any makeup on. You don't have to fake smile in the audition,
Hmm.
code switch for anybody that feels like they have to do that. You could just check in with yourself. And it was so healing.
Healing.
I had no idea how much I needed. I was like, that doggone mic.
Hmm. There was my mom is a teacher. She's an administrator now, but she was a teacher a long time ago. And there was this one little boy when we lived in Mobile, Alabama. And it was a little boy who he could not sit still. Like he would get a song in his head and he was just like, Miss McGee, I gotta get it out. And she would just let him go outside real quick. And he just had to like hit this step real quick. He was in like second grade. He just needed to like dance it out and he'd come back in and he's like, okay, I'm good now. And it
Wow.
was just like that energy, like he needed, it was in him. And he was just like, just real quick, just give me like 2 minutes and I can go outside. I just need to get it out of me and then I'll come back. And he was very productive as soon as he came back in. He just like, when you have something inside of you, you got to get it out.
Got to get it
It's got to
out.
go somewhere.
That you create that, you let him have that space, that freedom to do that, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, even in schools and at home for a lot of kids and a lot of people in general, they don't have that space to do that.
yeah. I mean, humans are naturally curious beings. We learn through play, and I think when we take a child and we put him in this institution, that's the education system, and it says sit here, be still, learn this in this way, in the way we're just talking to you instead of letting you discover and letting you find. It can be challenging for especially the creative children where he's just like, I got a beat in my head, I don't know where it came from, but I gotta kickball change
Get it
just real
out.
quick.
Yeah.
I gotta do something with it. And so I think it's really important that we have teachers, that understand. My mother is a creative as well. Though she loves to teach, she is a creative person at her core. So she understands that the creative process is not a straight line.
Yeah.
Spiral, sometimes it's all over the place. And then this child can come back and get what 2 times 2 is because he was able to dance it out. And
Yeah.
understanding that, like as educators, we need to see more educators, not just of color, but of understanding.
Of understanding.
Like teachers that really, really, really understand that not every child learns the same way, and that a child that does not learn in the way that they've been told they need to learn, there's nothing wrong with them. They don't need to be put in a separate class or a special class or be labeled as disruptive. That child is creative. That child learns from being outside, touching, a kinesthetic learner. And having a teacher that understands, I need to give you the space in the room to do that so that you can be the best person you can be and still obtain this information. That's also very, very important. And so you being able to express emotion that was pent up, that was something that someone in your life allowed you space and time to do, and that you are better for it. You're
Yeah.
not a worse person for it. You're not a disruption. You are a person that can channel and put all of your energy into a project, and then also have the space to like find freedom in it.
Yeah.
That's really dope. And I'm really happy that that happened to you and for you.
I'm really, and I have no idea. I just been, because it's like, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. But I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea that all that was just in me. I had been suppressing so much. I had no idea. So it was
Yeah.
just swooped me off my feet. I was falling just all over the place. And I was like, I don't care. Like, this is what I just need to dance. It took me back
Right.
to exactly being a little girl and just, before we start doing all all the training, and then we start
Mm-hmm.
caring about, is your foot turned out? Is your hip this? Is your hip,
Right.
this, that, this, that. And it's great. All that training and technique is important, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we get so caught up in that we forget about the basis of it, that freedom, the joy that the arts brings us, and just the emotional outlet, the healing. And that's exactly
Mm-hmm.
what it did for me.
Yeah. I was I'm sorry, do we have time or
Oh, we have all the time. Yeah.
oh okay. Okay. I was
I'm
just like I have
loving this.
another
I am loving it. I've been looking for you. I've been looking forward to talking to you for a minute. So yeah.
okay, I was auditioning for Brothers of the Night. It was a Debbie Allen.
I have Dancing in the Wings right here.
Yes, and my mom got me that book. Yes.
My favorite.
Um, I was auditioning for Brothers of the Night, and it was between like me and like 3 other girls. And Miss Debbie Allen was just like, I don't want to see the work. I don't want to see the work. I want to see the joy. And so we're like, she doesn't want to see the work because like there's lines. There's okay, like throwing it all away and just getting down to when we first took our first dance class, whether it was a ballet class or a modern class or hip hop class, we were just so excited to be there that we're full out, we're wild. And that's what she wanted. Like in a place where she can, you know, reel it back in. But I want to see that you have that in you. I want to see that light hasn't been dimmed. And I think that's important as far as like, I know you are incredibly trained. And then to watch you in the production that we did together, like watching you embody Josephine Baker, like it wasn't just like a facial, it wasn't just like a leg or an arm, like you can actually see the joy radiating out of you. I think that's very, very important for an artist to have as well, to be able to tap into, to still be able to have, you know, some type of contact with, like, I'm going to bring this out. And now everyone else gets to share in this joy.
Yeah, because that's something I've had to. You just really want me to cry.
I don't, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead, girl.
Something. Thank you for saying it, because that's something that I'm so grateful for, all the training that I think all of us are grateful. Like I was saying, we're grateful for it, and it's so necessary. But I was losing myself in college,
Mm,
because and so maybe it wasn't a because I didn't know about the term code switch until I moved up here to New York, and I was hearing people say, I was like, what's that? But
mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was just naturally happening with the system that has been
For
created.
survival. Mm-hmm.
It was just naturally happening physically. So even if I was still, being Amber,
Mm-hmm.
way I was moving, like my physical voice was definitely just fading away. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had to even fight for my
Mm-hmm.
voice, and really that's why I keep talking about the answers. Even Josephine Baker, that's somebody that I've looked up to since I was a little girl, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
moments at the workshop for Black Clown, just studying her even more and really trying to embody her, that was freeing for me too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's important to have all this training and all these different voices of wisdom and experience, all these people that come in our lives. But our camp, that's what I was going to say. We go into these places, and I hear the phrase a lot that they want to just wipe everything that's on the canvas and add to it. And now I've learned that that is a complete no-no. You
Oh,
keep everything that's on that canvas, and you just keep adding. Why would you want to erase? It gives me chills, because
right.
I thought that was a thing for a minute. Like, yeah, erase
Yeah,
the
wipe me
canvas,
clean.
like make me better. Yeah. But I'm like, no, no. Add to my canvas, and then I learn what to add and subtract to it for myself, like what resonates with me. But a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these institutions and just so many people go by that, where they want to erase. And it's like we're not robots. Like we're all meant to be authentic. We're all meant to be like so unique. And we definitely, it's so easy to lose sight of that in this system. So
Mm-hmm.
it definitely has been, especially this time during quarantine, checking in with myself and asking, just who are you? Just
Mm-hmm.
journaling more, just seeing where I'm at. And that, I think that was the first time, for sure, the first time I've danced in a long time, and just not even being judged. Like we're so used to being full out in auditions or when we're performing. So when do we just dance without thinking about anybody else in the audience?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're just dancing just because, like we were little
Mm-hmm.
kids, and we didn't care about anything else other than the moment right here, just expressing ourselves.
Right. I got really, really fed up with the dance, like the dance class, the dance studio scene here in LA. It just got really, really super performative.
Mm-hmm.
It like everybody has a camera, everybody's coming with a beat face, with hair, with, you know, costuming basically to take class. And I'm like, I want to get sweaty. I want to make mistakes. I want to like really dig into like, how am I hitting this step? And I want to be able to learn from someone else who is also, you know, learning and finding and playing. I don't want, if you're here performing, if we're all just performing, then this isn't a class. Like I should be getting a check. But when I stepped away from the dance scene or the dance studio scene, I still needed a physical outlet. Like I
Yeah.
really needed a place to put all that energy. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to just dance. And so I found pole. And you know, there's, girl,
I've been
it
wanting that.
it's women who are from all walks of life, who, you know, from the HR in corporate America to, you know, a mom. There were a few pregnant ladies that were in the class, and it was just finding yourself, because the class wasn't so rigid where it's like your leg needs to be exactly here in order for it to be, you know, in order for safety, you know, being locked in or whatever. Yes, but it's not like it has to look a particular way. How you approach the pole is your signature approach. And then it was also a way for me to actually see the work that I'm doing. Because, taking, a hip hop class here in LA, I don't necessarily see myself getting better. But with pole, if I couldn't grip the pole last week and now this week I can actually see my growth. If, I couldn't get that arch just like I could feel the arch, but when I recorded, I can't see the arch. And now 2 weeks later, I can see it like, oh, there's been expansion.
Yeah.
I can see it. And it was so cleansing for me as far as spiritually, this industry can, take a lot out of you. And I felt like the community that I was building in my pole classes, both static and spin pole, was just like so refreshing. It's women from all walks of life, culturally and, socioeconomically. And it was just like, I'm getting fed. And then COVID. So
Uh,
now
that sounds very liberating. I've
it
always wanted
is.
to, and it's a place right up the street. And I kept saying this past year, I'm gonna go,
Mm-hmm.
and I never got to go. It's like, yeah, now we're in
Was
quarantine.
there anything specifically holding you back? Do you think that there was something?
I think it's just the idea of starting something completely
Mm,
new that is just like kind of daunting for me. I don't know. And even like virtually, I'm like, okay, now I have to, because I found it, somebody recommended a teacher that does wushu.
mm-hmm.
Virtually. So I'm like, okay, Amber, here's your chance. Like, take advantage of it. Move this table out the way in the living room and get to it.
Right. Can we do a Zoom group session? I'll do it with you.
Yeah, because we could be accountability partners.
Okay. Like, did you take class today? Did you do your wushu
Exactly. Yeah, I need
warm
that.
up?
I need that. I'll do it on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I need to step it up. And one of my dreams is to be like in action films. Like when I watch stuff
Yeah.
like Kill Bill, I'm like, oh, it's so cool to just see women like kicking butt. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I want to do that, then I have to do the work. So when
Yes.
are you gonna be ready to do the work?
Make yourself undeniable.
Yeah.
Undeniable. Like, with this uprising, there are people that are doing a lot of performative hiring.
Mhm.
And we're still in a space of like, you got to be twice as good to get half as much. And so, and instead of me feeling like I'm never going to be enough, I just started really working on making myself undeniable. Like, do
Mhm.
you speak the language? Yes. Do you have whatever special skills that we need? Yes, I do. I have them already. You don't have to teach me anything. I may need to brush up on it, but hire me.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yeah.
and hopefully, with this cleansing that is starting to happen, and the awakening, will already be undeniable, and then they'll be looking for us as well. Like,
Yes,
we need some pretty black girls
we do.
that can kick butt.
That can kick butt. Yes.
Here, I'm here.
I love that. Be undeniable. I want to write that down. That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be my quote of. I was gonna say the rest of the week, but probably it is just gonna stay up there. That quote will hold me accountable. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're checking off everything on the list. Like, I just need to use this time because like we have so much time. There's no
Mm-hmm.
excuse not to be undeniable. There's
Right.
not any excuse. We need to definitely do a part two. I love this so much.
Let me know.
So much. And I'm sending you, because you're on the West Coast, so I'm sending you so much love.
Yes,
All the
thank
way
you.
from the East. It's hot and humid.
It's been actually cool out here. It was like
Lucky
66
y'all.
degrees yesterday.
Lucky y'all. It's like
Mm-hmm.
so humid here. And the fireworks have been great. It seems like it's quiet now because I just got back, but the fireworks have been insane. So
Yeah.
we'll see how the rest of this week goes with all the noise. But June, 4th of July is right around
July 4th, yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
corner. So like it'll be crazy, I'm sure, this weekend. So yeah, we'll see what's
You'll
going on.
survive it though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, thank you for having me, Amber. I really appreciate it.
Ooh, I appreciate you so much. And I'm looking forward to our part two.
All right.
Hey. This just gave me so much joy. I'm so happy. I got so much joy these past couple of days. I was just like, thank you, Lord. I needed it. I needed something just to like get me up and just smile, laugh, dance. Like I definitely needed it.
Mm.
Yeah, these
Well,
check-ins. Yeah.
yeah, we gotta dig into each other,
Hmm.
find all that everything that we need in ourselves and in each other. We all out here, whatever you need.
Yeah. But I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You
Talk
too.
soon. Oh, this
Alrighty.
so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you, girl.
Love you too.
Bye.